The reason why British cycling is good is because we know how to polish. When you're competing in the Olympics, they have to be British. We have to polish what we got. Basically, the performance support is what we don't like to turn. How do we support performance? We know this performance will win us gold in Rio. Well, how are we going to get from here to here? And who have we got to do it? And this sort of thing, polishing the bike fit, the optimization of position is one of those things that you have to do. We can't go and buy another Chris Hoy. We have to polish it, make it. The ergonomics of the fitting of the person to the bike may be the next game changer, because whilst the bike gets better and better, it's pretty much fixed in its setup, whereas the rider is adaptable rides here, but where that zone is, and some people's zones is very big, and some people's zones are very narrow. What we often find is those people's zones is very narrow. That's where you have to, where bike fit becomes a vital role, and that comes into maybe the micro adjusters versus the macro absorbers. Some macro absorbers, some of our athletes can just absorb training all day long and adapt to it, and they adapt to bike position as well. So it doesn't make that much difference. To some of them, the micro adjusters, it makes a big difference. So it's worth investing in and getting better at.
Fit is still important for the macro absorbers too, because they can adapt to anything, but what they don't know is if they're optimized. And that's what they constantly wonder about.
So the people you see who don't have any problems are still doing really well, but you can get an extra 20 watts out of, maybe, or by just the smallest of changes, which they're never going to perceive because they don't know that there's an issue there, they're just riding with it, as we saw today with some of our work.
The only way we know that's going on though is by using something like Retül, that we can actually sort of quantify it and then make, because it's such an individual thing. Like I said, we've got all of these people that ride completely differently, and we need to quantify that in order to be able to make those educated changes, I think, to actually, like you say, marry up the person to the bike. You know, that's why I love using it, because it just gives you that data in front of it you can utilise when you know what you're doing with it, that you can actually maximise that bike in terms of position.
We assume that the data is accurate, so we as Retül need to make sure the data is accurate, because if the data is inaccurate, what you're measuring is not real. So yeah, we worked hard with our technology to make sure that the fitters get the accurate data. But like these guys say, you need to have a good mind to interpret that data, and that's where you get the best fit.
Scan bikes, record the positions, that we can compare between the two bikes. So the guys, it's important for them, the level of riding they're at, that they're riding similar positions on their track bikes to their TT bikes when they're out on the road.
The move is a step forward as well, because sometimes it's really great to step away from the shape of a bike and actually just look at someone and they get their position. And sometimes you don't know how much you're limited by the frame size they're on, because you're thinking, oh, I don't want to go and change this and I don't want to go and change that. Can we make it fit to them rather than, can we make them fit to the bike, rather than the bike fit to them?
I agree with you about the move. And a lot of times what I find during fits on time trial bikes and track bikes is they're hard to adjust. So the fitter is less likely to make a change. Where with the move, you can just turn a crank. So if you want, you can do more adjustments on the move. You can make better fit decisions because you can try more things.
Some of the more common injuries that we see people coming in with, that's with regard to bike, but I guess knee is the most common one. It's the joint that goes through the biggest range of motion, has the biggest load potentially going through it. Often it's people try and tweak specific things on the bike, where we try to look at things more holistically. We need to see how everything's interacting, how that person sort of interacts with the contact points in the bike, but it's not just looking at one thing at a time. So it could be something at the pedal, it could be something at the saddle, but it's how the whole kinetic chain sort of links together, I think, that often causes issues in one particular place. And sometimes you just need to take a step back and just see how the whole body's kind of interacting with what it's doing.
What does it mean to you to be British?
I wouldn't want to be anything else.
Right, well,
I can't believe we have to use an American system.
Yeah.
I can imagine.